In an 82 game season, you are bound to have clumsy games, to have games in which you are not playing your best, games in which, well, you probably shouldn't be victorious. But sometimes in an 82 game season, that happens when you're on an 8 game heater and can't find a way to lose, even if you do your best to try and lose the hockey game. And tonight in Nashville, in the first of a back to back for Colorado, they extend their win streak to 8 games by scoring a goal 15 seconds into the contest before the Nashville broadcast even knew what was happening on the ice. And then they rode 35 Mackenzie Blackwood saves, 12 of them coming at grade A pinpoint locations. And the Avs just can't freaking lose. What is going on, Spring?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really funny open you just did. And it's like things are just going their way. I mean, they've been playing very, very, very well. Now, tonight was, in terms of things are just going their way, guess who the schedule drew for you?
A bad
Nashville.
Nashville team.
If they were playing damn near any other team in the league tonight,
Yep.
that's overtime at least. But because it was Nashville who suck, no offense, like that's just a fact, okay? I hope any Predators fan could even admit themselves that that is the truth. Because it's Nashville, you win because you scored 15 seconds into the game. And I guess the story is Mackenzie Blackwood. I say Nashville sucks, and they do suck, but they had some looks tonight. And it wasn't just 35 ho-hum saves. There was a handful of them that required a higher level of skill, and Mackenzie Blackwood answered the bell. I would say for me, it was first half of this game, centering pass to Philip Forsberg from behind the net.
Yep.
That was the glove save. I mean, that's in tight quarters. That was vintage Blackwood. That's a smooth, right in the glove save.
The save on
one.
Roman Yossi minutes after that as well. Like,
Sure.
you kind of knew he was feeling it, Spring.
Yeah, and he was. It looked like good Mackenzie that we saw last year. Square to the puck, fundamentally sound. Like it looked like he was back. And yes, it's Nashville, but it was 35 shots against, and a handful of them were dangerous. Like a 35 shot shutout is no joke. You see some shutouts where like, oh, you like 19 and 19.
Right.
This was 35 of 35. It was no joke tonight.
Money Puck had Mackenzie Blackwood facing 4 high danger opportunities, and now high danger opportunities are tough when you just look at the stat sheet. If you're just looking at like an advanced analytics site, because the way that you find high danger opportunity is proximity to the net. But I could argue that even if you're 40 feet away from the goal, if you have a 2-on-1 and it's backdoor and you shoot from 40 feet, that's a high danger scoring opportunity. So most of the time for me, if you can extend that to medium and high danger opportunities, there were 15 shot attempts tonight for Nashville out of their 55 that they threw at the net that were low and high danger. For grade A opportunities, I probably counted 5 or 6 this evening that he stopped. Yep. It didn't feel like he got lucky on them either. Like sometimes you just happen to be in the right spot at the right time. Blackwood tracked everything. And Kevin in the chat is right. Yeah, he definitely deserved the first star this evening. He was the best player on the ice in a game in which Colorado just like didn't have it. And that's what happens in 82 game seasons. You're going to put out stinkers. Like you're going to lose games because you just simply don't either have the juice or pucks aren't going your way. And sometimes you need to have your goaltender, your number one, and that's what Mackenzie Blackwood is paid to be, show up and be the number one. I think this means everything for a guy that is, let's be honest, Spring, he's fighting to get his job back just because he's coming off of surgery.
That leads me to my hot take question, because I'm watching this game in the studios and I'm talking with Berto. And the last time I was here, I was yelling And it's not like the door into this new podcast room we have is not one of those like big soundproof doors. So Berto was like, "Man, what were you yelling about?" I think it was.
You do a great Birdo.
I
Man.
think it was. It had to be. It was the Avs Ducks game where they win like 4-1 or whatever it was. And he's like, "What could you possibly have been yelling about?" Well, I was yelling about Landeskog should have been the first star of the game. It was a ridiculous tongue-in-cheek take, but nonetheless. So he's like, "What are you going to yell about tonight?" And I was like, "Dude, what can I even yell about with this game?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to yell about it, but here's the hot take question." And you just alluded to it. Did Mackenzie Blackwood get his job back tonight?
He made it a difficult decision for Jared Bednar moving forward. Now it's a second of a back-to-back is tomorrow against Chicago. So the conventional wisdom is go with Wedgwood because not only is he playing well, but like you don't like putting goaltenders in the net in back-to-back games with travel in between, let alone a goaltender who's coming off of hip surgery in the offseason. So I think if Wedgwood starts tomorrow, don't go, oh, he doesn't have his job back. But this is a gigantic step in, hey, guys, I'm back. This is my net. And you look at Scott Wedgwood and you go, dude, thank you so very much. Congratulations on your $2.5 million, but I'm the one. It gives you the opportunity to kind of like ham and egg him, play him every other game if you want until someone goes sour.
Because here's the reality of it, and I almost want to clarify it by saying the unfortunate reality of it. And I mean that with respect to Scott Wedgwood, who has been so good. But this had been, and in theory still should be, Mackenzie Blackwood's job, as well as Wedgwood has played. So now they do have a luxury here. It's still late November. It's still, the calendar has still yet to turn. As we talked about last show, you are in no rush with anybody or anything. But like we saw tonight with Gabe Landeskog, back half of this game, firmly, and he started this game on the second line, which we theorized could be a possibility, if not the likelihood. Turns out it was the case. Not only, so he starts the game on the second line, back half of this game, he's firmly top line. Gabe Landeskog's firmly top line in the back half of this game. And that was nothing that they had to rush. It was inevitable. And it came tonight. Who knows if it sticks? Because again, they're in no rush. But make no mistake about it. That's the goal. That's the idea. Is that, and he was back on power play 1 tonight. Like, that's where they want him. That's where he will be. They were in no rush. They're still in no rush. But we saw it tonight. Same principle applies with Mackenzie Blackwood. He's the one. If they, and I say if, that's fucking stupid, when they make the playoffs. Blackwood's your starter.
It'd be like impossible for them to miss the playoffs at this point. It would be like the Broncos missing the playoffs is what this Avs team feels like through 21 games. Like, again, they tried to lose the hockey game tonight, almost from Jump Street.
Yes. Yeah. No. That again, you said it. You were spot on, man. Like, it's an 82 game season, but no, Blackwood's, that's the plan. That's the idea. Is even if, let's say this is a world where Mackenzie Blackwood is, it takes through April for him to, doesn't matter. By game 1 of the playoffs, Mackenzie Blackwood is your starter in net.
Yeah. He has the higher ceiling. Wedgwood is proving that he is likely the best backup in the league right now with a claim to, hey, I could start for a few teams, but he wants to be here. He likes being here. And I think the ability to continue playing both goalies during the regular season will behoove you as the time the playoffs roll around. Like, you won't have to worry about, the Connor Hellebuck problem in Winnipeg, and Hellebuck is now out for the next 6 weeks as he undergoes microscopic surgery for Winnipeg. But what's happened to the Jets the past few years? Hellebuck plays like 65 games and then he peters out in the playoffs. It's very similar to what happens with Jake Ottinger in Dallas, even though he beats the Avs. Like, don't get me wrong, Ottinger has Colorado's number, but at some point, Otter starts to shit the bed. And most of the time, it's in the Western Conference Final. The past couple of years, it's been against Edmonton. But I think most of that is because Otter is relied upon so heavily to get Dallas to where they are in the regular season. The Avs have done that in the past, right? You lean on Alexander Georgiev. You leaned on Semyon Varlamov for all of those years. What's the one year that the Avs didn't have to lean so damn heavily on their goaltender after the Patrick Waugh years? It was 2022 when you had Pavel Francouz and you went, well, he can play 20 games if we want him to. He can play 35 games if we want him to, just so long as Darcy Kemper is healthy and ready to go during the playoffs. Now, I know there were injuries notwithstanding, but you get my drift.
Man, dude, you are fucking crushing it tonight. Because yeah, once again, for I think the third time, I'm gonna say spot on.
Thanks, buddy.
Like, that was Kemper and Francouz, and you had the reliable backup, and you didn't have to burn out Kemper, so they can still 60-40, 55-45, 50-50 this thing the rest of the way, and they are sparing and saving energy for both of their very legitimate goaltenders. And really, though, you are saving that energy and those legs and that and all of the movement and everything that comes along. It's why goaltenders don't play on back-to-backs for Blackwood. You're saving it for Blackwood, and that's
Yep.
where Wedgwood, for the playoffs. And that's where Wedgwood comes into play. And then much like Darcy Kemper had to leave because he got poked in the eye and whatever it was in that Stanley Cup playoff run. I don't even think it was the poked in the eye.
It was poked in the eye by Ryan Johansson against Nashville.
Yes, and then Francouz comes in. Should you need to lean on Wedgwood in the playoffs, but
you feel comfy.
Yeah, you feel comfy.
You feel comfy either way. Like, you feel comfy if there's an injury, and you also feel comfy that, like, if you have to break the glass in case of emergency, where, like, they're down 2-0, they lose 2 home games to start off a series, or they're down 3-1, and those losses are, like, very clearly on the goaltender. You feel great about going, we're going to Wedgwood because we trust him to win hockey games, and maybe that's the spark the team needs. It is such a delightful problem, as you put it earlier in the show. It's a delightful problem to have.
Okay, a couple other things from this game. I mean, Brent Burns game-winning goal 15 seconds in, unassisted.
That dude rocks.
I mean, like, I guess it's the Brent Burns game as well, even though it was 15 seconds into the game. But he's a guy who can have a game in terms of, like, it's not just some early goal and then a lot of nothing happens offensively. Like, Brent Burns has shown he could have a game this year where he scores 2, where he has a goal and 2 assists, where he's making nice defensive plays as well, where we could have, as this season progresses, maybe in the back half of the season, a more suiting and formal Brent Burns game. But yeah, I mean, that's the dude. That's of all the guys, and it's well deserved when you think about it. He was the offensive difference tonight.
It's amazing. He led the team in goals above expected. Brent Burns tonight. A team with Nathan McKinnon
he scored
and Cale Makar on it. He led the team in goals above expected. I see Donzante in the chat on YouTube. Natchez was terrible. Yeah, he was terrible. There were a lot of Avs that were not good tonight.
Well, Natchez was the one they took off the top line.
A game. And right, isn't that awesome for you to be able, as Jared Bednar, to go, Marty, like, figure it out, but he doesn't have to pull up like Poland to come up to that line. He doesn't have to pull up Taylor Makar or Zakhar Bardakov up to that line. He gets to look down and see a top 3 first-round pick and the longest tenured captain not named Sidney Crosby or Alex Ovechkin. He gets to pull that guy to the top line. What a luxury.
Yeah, Jared Bednar loves Gabe Landeskog. Like Jared Bednar knows that Landeskog was on the top line when, he began his coaching career through them winning a cup, and what an integral piece he is on the ice, and he respects the hell out of his leadership. Jared Bednar is going to give Gabe Landeskog every single opportunity, and it's kind of a safety net for him. He's just a player that he trusts. Even if Gabe isn't flying up and down the ice, and he's never quite been that player. He's just such a smart player, though, and those are the guys that Jared Bednar leans on. Now, I did notice back half of the third, they did go Natchez, McKinnon, Landeskog. They took Lehkonen off, but primarily it was Natchez down on the second line. And yeah, look, he's a streaky player. He's always been a streaky player. This has been the most consistent, best stretch of his career. He was a very good player with the Hurricanes, still streaky, was streaky in his stint back half of last season when he came over from Carolina with the Avs. But then he settled in and he was playing for a contract extension and he wants to win a cup. But guess what? He was going to have a stinker. And for that matter, I mean, you mentioned it. McKinnon Makar didn't have good nights either.
Nope.
But nobody's going to talk about that because they're Nathan McKinnon and they're Cale Makar.
Yeah,
a guy like Marty Natchez, you call out. You're not gonna call out McKinnon or Makar.
Right, because like a couple of days ago, as good as Marty Natchez has been, and he's third in the league in goals or something like that, and he's top 5 in points right now. He's been sensational for them, largely because he's being handcuffed to Nathan McKinnon, and who wouldn't be wonderful handcuffed to Nathan McKinnon. Marty's not going to have the games that Nate had a couple of evenings ago, where you just go, holy crap, that's your game. You just did whatever you wanted. There's going to be a few where he does some really special things, but you know what Nate's going to do in Chicago tomorrow? He's not going to look like a pile of crap. That's what separates. That's what
he
separates
rarely has
the
back to
greats.
back. Yeah,
that's what separates Hall of Famers from excellent elite hockey players. It's the ability to not string together bad performances and to consistently come out. And consistency doesn't mean every single night, right? For me, it means most nights, because doing it on 82 games a year is like nearly impossible. We're all human, even though I call professional athletes mutant versions of us, and that's what they are. If you do it most nights and you don't string together crappy performances, you've got a really good chance of playing a long time and putting up a bunch of points in this league.
Let me bring up this comment here. Kamara, I'm glad you mentioned this. Not only back-to-back games, Gabe, 18 plus minutes, and makes sense because of the Brindley injury and Gabe getting elevated and everything we've talked about. But Bardakov, and it's Brindley's out, so okay. It's not Taylor Makar. I'm not sure how many options they have on him. It's Tristan Nielsen and it's Jason Polin, who did about nothing tonight, both those guys. But hey, Bardakov was of the three on, your bottom three. He got 805 tonight, had a shot and goal. Zakhar Bardakov had a really nice kind of checking play against the end boards in the offensive zone or the far wall. And he threw this nice zipped centering pass at an angle net front to Jack Drury, who almost put that thing in. It was a really nice play from Bardakov. So they don't. You're not going to trust Poland. You're not going to trust Nielsen. But Bardakov, they trusted him a little bit tonight. That's got to feel good for a guy. Now, it's still just 8 minutes. He wants 15. But nonetheless, hey, he had a moment and he played well tonight.
I would agree. He's a player that you guys know I like his motor. I like his ability just to like run his head through the wall. He feels like he skates as hard as Miles Wood did, but he doesn't do as many catastrophic things when he's around the puck.
You know what's funny? Miles Wood scored his 6th goal of the season for.
Dang, man, good for him. Good for him. I don't want to like bury the dude because I did enjoy. I enjoyed him when he was healthy in New Jersey, and that's why I thought the deal could have been fun. He just did too many holy crap, that's going to lose us the hockey game things when he was
certainly last season. Certainly last season. There's no doubt about it. But how much of that was the back injuries? I really do think that played a large part. And then I think he's a $2 million cap hit, which is really team
Oh,
friendly.
that's hardly anything nowadays.
But Brindley's under $1 million. And that's even more team friendly.
Yeah, I take Brindley any day of the week because I know he's not going to do something that's going to lose me a hockey game. And that's funny to say because he's got like 25 games of NHL
Mm-hmm.
experience, maybe not even. I think he's got south of 25, might have south of 20 at this point. He's not going to do something that loses me a game or God forbid a series, much like the Miles Wood thing did
Yeah.
last year. Like Benny's saying he's got PTSD about Kale stringing together bad games in the Dallas series. I have PTSD about the Miles Wood turnover.
And Brindley's got upside. Miles Wood is who he is, even when he's right, which he appears to be right. And he's a very good bottom six player, but Brindley has top six upside. So, and it saved him money, also unloading Coyle, who appears to be playing well as well. But from a cap perspective, I get it. And then Brindley stepped up to the plate, but obviously, and Jared Bednar saying before the game that he did not get good news on Brindley. He was kind of grim about it, but did kind of sound like a week to week thing. That being said, the other three players outside of Brindley who are out all seem relatively close. So Connor, Kiviranta, even Nichushkin.
I think O'Connor would have been back on this road trip had they not just had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because OC just welcomed a baby boy like 3 or 4 days ago. I'm going to assume when they jump back home and they have San Jose on like Wednesday night. I think it's the
Yep.
Wednesday prior to Thanksgiving. They've got San Jose. I expect that he'll be back for that game. I could be wrong, but I just
No, that
have a
makes a ton
feeling.
of sense. That does, yeah.
And yeah, maybe that's a good thing. Is that like I'm not saying it's a good thing that guys go down and are injured, but it allows you to seamlessly plug veterans back into your lineup that know that that's their job, that's their spot, and you're not like competing for it. You can kind of just like slide back in and see if it fits. And if someone underperforms, you retest Brindley sometime in December.
Okay, given that, yes, they get a shutout win tonight, but it was lackluster, and it's fortunate that it was Nashville. But Chicago tomorrow. Chicago has been good. Not great, but good.
They've been fun.
Are you worried?
I mean, if you play the exact game you did tonight in Chicago tomorrow, you will lose the hockey game
Yes.
because what Chicago is a fun, loose offensive unit that have guys who can score. Like Frank Nazar is a delight to watch. Connor Bedard is starting to flourish before our eyes, in terms of being a pure goal scorer. Spencer Knight is turning into the first round pick that we all thought he was going to be out of the U.S. National Development Program. They have a young budding goaltender who's playing. You can make the argument Spencer Knight's playing the best goalie in the NHL right now, and they have a super fun, loose offensive unit. Everywhere else, they're not ready.
Of course. But with, now that Brindley's out and Nichushkin's still the best player out, but you add Brindley to the list, OC won't be back. I mean, I'd rather have Kiviranta than
Then
anyone in their
Jason
bottom
Poland,
three.
yeah.
Yeah. So, given how they look tonight, I don't know. Like, it kind of does. Now, what's funny is they're the best team in the NHL. They have some of the best players. I mean, they got the Hart Trophy favorite and the Norris Trophy favorites. And Natchez is still damn good. And Landeskog is starting to come into his own. And I think Arturi Lehkonen is a guy who's due. Man, it's funny. Heat on Natchez. I'm telling you, Lehkonen could be doing more, but we love that player. He works his ass off. It was like, man, he's snake bitten. Then he got a couple goals. Now he's like kind of back to where he was. But all of these players are more than capable than just flipping a switch. And even though they look like shit tonight, And there are a lot of elements that just suggest tomorrow might be a loss.
Yeah,
They could, though, just do the thing and win
I
that
think
game.
I think tomorrow has to be a game in which the power play performs for you to win. Right? Eventually this stops. Like
Sure.
you're not going to play 82 games and go like 76 1 and 5 if that's is that the mark 76 1 and 5. You're not going to do that. I think that's how the math comes out.
Yeah.
Um Eventually this comes to a halt. Tomorrow, second leg of a back-to-back against a plucky Chicago team that probably wants to prove to everyone, hey, we're actually here. We're a force to be reckoned with. Look who we just played well, or look who we just beat. The Colorado Avalanche, the mighty Avs. Yeah, it is shaping up for a game that they could lose, but I have a feeling the power play with Gabe Landeskog at the net front tomorrow is going to tally a couple of times. I really liked Gabe's ability to go and retrieve pucks in the corners. I think that's something that the power play hasn't really had. Shots that miss the net, pucks that get rimmed. Landy's elite at picking those pucks up. I don't think they have like a really awesome other dude on that power play unit that does it. I think they're going to score.
0 for 2 tonight, but it was the first game where we saw Landeskog as your more true net front presence. So, okay, I mean, like, first game of it, there's going to be after a different kind of transitioning somewhat back to the older system after, a month and a half of the newer system. Now you got to kind of relearn. And I think that that's a lot of what it was tonight. And it's also, okay, Natchez now primarily your right wing, which makes all the sense in the world except for his shot hand.
Right.
That's it. Like, I would love a left-handed shot on that side, but Natchez is too good. So that's just something that they have to figure out. Is the angles for Natchez as a right-handed shot on the right side?
They tried to get Landy up there. I think Landy like attempted a one-timer. I don't know if it went wide or if it got blocked. It was early on that he tried that tonight and it didn't quite work. So maybe they're going to try and you use Natchez coming down his strong side where he comes super high and then gets like a flat pass from Kale instead of that angled one-timer pass that you see to a lefty there. So he gets to attack down ice with the puck to the outside of the dot line. Maybe that's how you use Nate. Pardon me. You use Natchez that way. And he comes down and he swaps spots with Landeskog, and then Landy's on that flank, and you go Natchez around the net to McKinnon, Makar, one-timer Landy. I suppose you could do that. I don't see Landeskog's one-timer as something that I'm like super juiced up about, but
yeah. But
he
can float over there. He can. But you want him net front. That's where he eats. And as you have said, his production, his goal scoring will go up if he's on power play 1 and he's tipping pucks in and he's vacuuming pucks via rebound. And you're also right. He's great at retrieving pucks in the corner, something that I think like McKinnon's done an underrated job at so far, but Landeskog is also elite at that. I mean, he's built for that power play 1 role. He just hasn't been there yet because he's coming back from an insane knee injury that kept him out 3 years. And then, I mean, maybe Scott Wedgwood can do what Blackwood did tonight. And maybe
like
Scott Wedgwood can fucking steal him the game.
Could you imagine like Chicago puts up 28 shots and he stops 27 of them. The Avs come away with a 2-1 win in overtime. Like just these two guys just firing shots back and forth to each other. It's funny because the goaltending room is so friendly. Those two dudes love each other and the team loves both of those guys. Like they're cool goalies. They're not weird goalies. And when you get a cool goalie in a room, that's something special and you hang on to it. They just continue to roll, man. 15, 1-5, 35 points. They're 6 clear of Dallas right now. The Stars currently playing on the road in Calgary. The Flames have a 1-0 lead with 2 minutes to go in the second there. So hopefully Calgary can hold on. And
man, okay. The Avs Stars, no, not the Avs Preds game was 1-0 at this point.
Yes.
The Stars are playing the role of the Nashville Predators tonight. And the Flames are playing the role of the Colorado Avalanche. And the Flames are the worst team in the league. And the Stars are the second best team in the league. And
The
the Avs are
Flames
the best team in the
stink.
league. And the Preds are the second worst team in the league. We are in this bizarro, like,
Upside down,
symbiosis
flip
here.
flop. Yeah, it's bizarre, man. If the Flames can hold on for a win there, that'd be huge. Like, I'm just looking
That'd
for
be
a little bit of
hilarious.
separation, between you and Dallas. Like, I want more payoff for how damn good, how historically good the Avs are right now. I need more payoff in terms of distance between me and the Stars.
No, I do think that this is going to be a season where Dallas will play well, but they're just going to look at the standings every night and be like, what the fuck do we have to do? Like, we're winning some games. We're playing pretty well. Why is Colorado like kind of consistently outpacing us? But the funny, ironic part is it will still be Avstar's second round.
I know, such a shame. That should be the West Final. It's nuts, man, that you are forced to do that. Again, it's how Nashville must have felt coming into tonight. Like they got their legs going. It's a divisional matchup. Colorado's probably taking this lightly. Oh, and look at what they did. I know they're throwing Mackenzie Blackwood. He's their one, but right now, is he their starter? We got the cold version of the Avs goaltending, and then he shows up and he stops 15 shots in the first period. Like, I'm sure you go back and Andrew Burnett's looking at his coaching staff and literally saying what you just said, like, what the hell do we have to do to beat these guys?
That was also like that was their game.
It was their
And
game.
they couldn't even score.
Oh man, sometimes you're too good to lose, and that's
Yeah.
what they are right now. They're too good to lose.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
All right, Spring, let's run through the scores around the NHL before we get out of here, and then we'll do a longer version of Between the Pipes tomorrow after the Avs take on the Chicago Blackhawks. 6 p.m. start when that Blackhawks game is? Or is it a 5 p.m.?
p.m.
Oh, that's nice. A little bit earlier.
That is
I like
very
that.
nice. That's going to be a really good Sunday night. Get you ready for your weekend for your week ahead game, and then like an 8 p.m. Between the Pipes. Like, yeah, like that's a Sunday night right there.
I love that. Penguins fall in overtime to the Kraken 3-2. Sidney Crosby, don't look now, 13 goals for Sidney Crosby. Alexander Ovechkin had a hat trick either last night or 2 nights ago for the Capitals, who fall 5-3 this evening to the Lightning. Brandon Hagel had a 4-point outing for Tampa Bay. The Senators get a 3-2 victory over the Sharks, and the Flyers double up the Devils 6-3. But did you see what happened off the ice for the Devils?
Well, look, New Jersey has not been playing well since Jack Hughes, I don't know, sliced his hand at a dinner with Frank the Tank, of
Yeah,
all
sliced his
things.
hand on like a glass, I think, at a team dinner.
And now, speaking of dinners, Jack Hughes on a date with Tate McRae.
Good on you, buddy.
Look, I truth time. Jack Hughes is a handsome young fella.
He is a handsome young fella. Jack Hughes got hit with the handsome stick and Quinn did not.
That's
Poor guy.
Poor guy. You're so right. Hey, first overall pick, all the talent in the world, good looking guy, out to dinner with Tate McRae. Some dudes just win out of the womb, you know?
They sure do. They sure do. Good for him, man. He's having a great time.
Hey, I wouldn't turn it down.
He's in the freaking West Village chowing down with one of the hottest celebrities on planet Earth. Good for you, Jack.
Good. And hockey needs that. Hockey needs that.
I agree. Completely agree with you. The Oilers double up the Panthers 6-3 this evening. The Canadiens get goals from Lane Hudson, Noah Dobson, and Josh Anderson en route to a 5-2 victory at home as they beat the hapless Toronto Maple Leafs. Blues a 2-1 victory on the road against the Islanders. Red Wings get the 10th goal of the season from Alex DeBrincat in overtime. A little short side snipe from a guy who before today's game went, I should be on that team, when referencing Team USA and the Italy Olympics in February.
He's scrappy as certainly from an offensive perspective. He's not big, he's small, but he can score some goals. If that's a fourth liner on my Team USA, I'll sign up for that.
3-3 is the score after 40 minutes against the Vegas Golden Knights for the Anaheim Ducks, who are at
What a
home. And
great
then,
matchup. I mean, those
yeah, fun game.
yeah, it's a lot like Avs Ducks the other night. Yeah, those, and there's Edmonton. Those two teams in Edmonton. That's a good Pacific Division matchup here tonight.
And that'll do it. Yeah, a bunch of games on a Saturday for you guys to follow it up with just 5 games tomorrow around the NHL. The Abs are right. They're smack dab in the middle. It starts off early with the Hurricanes and Sabres. Sabres scored like 9 goals against Chicago. They
That
scored
is true.
9 goals on 28 shots or something last night against Chicago.
I actually didn't catch the final score of that game. I did see Buffalo was like, I was like, why is Buffalo such decent favorites over Chicago at home? So, and I saw someone in the chat say, because like, look, the way Chicago has played overall this season, and the way the Avs look tonight, like, yeah, maybe the Avs lose tomorrow night, but Chicago just allowed 9 goals in Buffalo, and the Avs can turn it on at any given second. Maybe an omen in another respect.
Of course. I just heard this from Benny 2095. Miko just boarded someone else. Is that true? I'll have to go and take a peek at that.
Let's
If
see. Let
that
me
is
search
true.
Miko on Twitter real quick.
If Miko Rantanen, because he didn't get
Here we
fined for that, he got
go.
fined for embellishment.
Oh, okay.
Same
Go search
thing
this
from
real
behind.
quick.
All right, I'll take a peek at it, Spring.
It's
As
this
we
Robert Munich guy has it, right? And it's the first thing that popped up when I searched it.
Miko, you just searched Miko.
Just Miko.
All right, I'm watching it right now. Matt Coronado, who's the goal scorer. Rantanen's going to get either fined or suspended for that because
That's boarding. That is
that's
boarding.
boarding, and that's now the second time you've had a sketchy play, and he got off scot-free for the hit the other evening against Alex Romanov. So and he also just got fined for embellishment. That's either going to be a suspension or a max fine. And now the NHL will be looking at Mikko Rantanen a little bit closer as the season goes on.
Man, I was trying to give Miko some benefit of the doubt on the Romanov hit because I'd never seen that from him when he was on the Avs. I had seen some, loose skating, some lack of awareness. He kind of gets pushed from behind, although he still does extend his hands into Romanov. So it was a bad play, regardless of any excuses I would like to make. Now you put this on top of it, and there's no excuse on this one.
No, he saw numbers the whole way. This is like he didn't get tripped up by
Yeah.
Scott Mayfield here. He made a decision to put Matt Coronado into the boards.
Wow. I'm shocked, to be honest with you, that Miko would have 2 of these in a week span. And, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, or whatever it is. Like now, second time, now we got a sample size. What is going on with this dude?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's not the Mikko Rantanen I'm used to.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's sad to see, actually.
He's gonna get
Wow.
suspended for that. He's gonna
Yeah.
get a game for that.
Yeah, that's dirty. I can't
Dang.
believe
All
I'm
right.
saying this, but that is straight up dirty.
Well, we'll have news on that tomorrow. As we have the Avs and Chicago Blackhawks at 5 p.m. We'll talk about that game. We'll talk about what happens from this Mikko Rantanen hit on Matt Coronado of the Calgary Flames. Coronado, the only goal scorer in that 1-0 lead currently for the Flames going into the third period. Weird things happen when you play next to Jamie Benn, don't they, Mark Springer? Avs win 8 straight. They can't stop losing even when they try to lose hockey games. But for Spring doing the good work on network this evening, I'm Raj. Thanks for listening to Between the Pipes on Altitude Sports Radio. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.